After the events of the first Ballerina, Rooney, the fierce assassin trained under the Ruska Roma, has finally avenged her family's death. But vengeance never ends cleanly in the underworld. As she tries to escape the ghost of her past, the High Table brands her a threat, a weapon-turned rogue. Ballerina 2 begins with Rooney hiding in Eastern Europe, dancing anonymously in underground ballet halls by night and fighting for survival by day. She believes she's free, but a new assassin named Soren, a High Table enforcer with surgical precision and poetic cruelty, begins hunting her. Rooney's past mentors, those who once molded her into a killing machine, now see her as both a liability and a symbol. Her story evolves from revenge to resistance, where she must rise not just as a survivor, but as the leader of a revolution against the world that created her. Rooney returns to the Ruska Roma safehouse in Belarus, only to find it burned to ashes. The matriarch, her former teacher, has disappeared, leaving behind a coded message. The dance must end where it began. The ruins hide secrets, blueprints of the High Table's new plan to train a generation of enhanced assassins through a ballet discipline called the symphony program. Rooney realizes that her past training was merely a prototype. Now, her legacy is being weaponized to create an army of perfect killers, emotionless, graceful, and unstoppable. She sets off to destroy this system from within, even if it means confronting the ghosts of her childhood, and the woman who raised her like a daughter only to turn her into a weapon. Rumors of John Wick's actions and apparent disappearance after Chapter 4 echo through the assassin underground. Rooney hears whispers that Wick's rebellion has inspired a silent movement, one that the High Table fears. Though Wick never appears, his myth fuels Rooney's resolve. A secret faction called the Orphans of Wick seeks her help to take down the table's hierarchy once and for all. They view her as the last hope, a ballerina with fire in her veins. Through this thread, the film connects emotionally to the John Wick universe without relying on cameos. Rooney becomes a mirror of Wick, both wounded by loss, both dancing between life and death. Her ballet becomes her weapon, and every movement tells a story of defiance. Rooney's mission takes her to Istanbul, a city of veiled loyalties and poetic danger, hidden within its underground theaters. The symphony program operates under the guise of an elite performing arts academy. There, assassins perform deadly ballets for High Table patrons, each act a coded assassination. Rooney infiltrates this organization posing as a dance instructor. The tension is constant, beauty masking brutality, grace concealing murder. The choreography sequences are unlike any seen before, fusing martial arts, ballet, and weaponized dance. The cinematography alternates between elegance and chaos. With every pirouette potential kill, Rooney slowly discovers that one of her protégés is being groomed as her replacement. And worse, the young girl carries a microchip containing the neural map of Rooney's own combat instincts. The emotional core of Ballerina 2 rests in Rooney's relationship with this young dancer, Anya, a prodigy who reminds her of herself. Anya has been conditioned to obey the table, but her fascination with Rooney turns into rebellion. Their bond becomes a reflection of mother and daughter, mentor and student, weapon and soul. When Soren captures Anya, Rooney faces an impossible choice: save the girl and risk the rebellion, or sacrifice her to end the symphony program once and for all. This moral conflict transforms Rooney from assassin to guardian, forcing her to reclaim her humanity in a world that denies it. The second half of the film erupts into all-out war. Rooney gathers defectors, dancers, and assassins tired of the table's tyranny. The rebellion takes shape as a performance war, assassinations disguised as theatrical acts across Europe. The film's unique concept lies in merging art and violence. Every fight scene choreographed like a ballet, every explosion timed like a crescendo. The High Table retaliates by deploying Soren's elite unit, the Black Waltz Division. Their battle culminates in a massive theater siege, where beauty and brutality collide in operatic intensity. Rooney's final solo performance becomes her last stand, a dance of death that inspires the world's assassins to rise. For the first time in the John Wick universe, the High Table is shaken to its core. Through strategic assassinations and symbolic gestures, Rooney and her allies dismantle its command structure. But the film doesn't glorify victory, it shows the cost. The assassin world collapses into chaos, factions turning on each other. Rooney, though victorious, is branded the Unchained Ballerina. A bounty is placed on her worth more than Wick's ever was. Yet she refuses to run. Instead, she claims a seat, not to rule, but to destroy from within. The story hints that the High Table isn't one organization but many, each continent, with its own council. the war is far from over. Through flashbacks, we learn more about Rooney's transformation, the pain, isolation, and psychological warfare behind her grace. Her movements were not trained for art, but for control. The film dives into psychological thriller territory, exploring how trauma can be both a curse and a weapon. The ballet becomes metaphor, every movement an act of rebellion against her conditioning. By the end, Rooney's dance isn't about killing, but about reclaiming her soul. The haunting score, part classical, part industrial, amplifies her internal conflict. Director Len Wiseman's vision turns Ballerina into not just an action movie, but a psychological symphony of freedom and vengeance. The climax unfolds in Vienna's Grand Opera House, where the high table's remaining council gathers for a peace ceremony. Rooney infiltrates the gala under disguise, performing her final dance. As the music rises, she kills the entire council in a sequence both breathtaking and tragic. Every motion is art, her pirouette slicing through a throat, her bow concealing a hidden blade. The scene mirrors the poetry of death, beautiful, precise, inevitable. Anya, watching from the rafters, realizes that the legacy will continue. Rooney dies not as a killer, but as an artist who used violence to end violence. Her final whisper, "Let the dance be free." In the epilogue, Anya inherits the Ruska Roma's ruins and rebuilds it as the House of the Free. Dance, the assassins who once served death now perform for life. Yet whispers linger, that Rooney survived, living in shadows, teaching a new generation of dancers how to move unseen. The camera closes on a child performing a dance identical to Rooney's final performance, proof that the legacy lives on. Ballerina 2 ends not with revenge, but rebirth, an elegant finale to the Assassin Ballet saga, setting the stage for a future crossover with the Continental or John Wick 5.